Okay. Welcome, everybody. We're here to meet for the Board of Supervisors election, March 27th meeting to discuss the different things on the agenda. So, call to order. So today on our agenda, we have the review and approval of the judge's manual. If you guys like, I can share it for us to go over. Sorry, it's not letting me share my screen. It's weird.
Pulled my copy up. But
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's
maybe
not.
can Sue Ellen or somebody else share?
Yeah, because it's not letting me
I have
share
mine
it.
open. I have mine open. Let me see.
Yeah, I have mine open, but on the Zoom call.
Let's see if I can get it.
It's funny because it's not even giving me the option on my side. Michelle, when you see share screen, do you see anything that pulls up on your side?
Yes, I can see, and it's coming up. Yeah, it says share screen, share background, share content. I didn't set this up, but you should be able to share. Presenter mode.
Yeah, for some
Let
reason
me
it's
just
not
do it.
letting
Which
me.
one? With judge's manual? Is that what
Okay,
you need?
wait. I think I was starting. Let's see. Did it share? Did you guys see it or?
We see the agenda.
The agenda. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Right. Now you guys see the. Do you see it now?
We can just see the agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's giving me all these problems. Try it one more time, okay? Sorry.
I'm sharing the judge's manual. I got it.
There it is.
So what page? I'm doing it. What page do you need? I got it. So which page? So we're just start at the beginning. General information, right?
That's going to have to get the spacing will have to change, but keep going. There's really not that much. We just added in what was discussed last time, and then there were a couple of things that we discussed but hadn't been actually put in last time. So that's later on in this document.
So the only
We
reason
need
I
a
highlighted
reminder that we need the oath. Need to provide an oath form. That'll come out of there, but it's there just to make sure we remember to do it.
So the only reason I kept the highlight on the amount for the election judges was it had $100 at one point. I know that we've paid between 100 and 150 in the past. So I just wanted to get the board's opinion on what to pay for that. Everybody has a different, like I said, I went to this clerk's meeting and they had different amounts. So some of them were pretty much at that 150, 160. So if you guys are okay with it, I changed it from 100 to the 150 because I think that's what we paid last time to the judges previously.
Well, my vote is to stick with what we did. I know it depends on the budget, whatever the budget was set, town administrator. So that's fine with me. What we did last time.
You know what? It was interesting because we had an amount that I think we paid up to 100. I thought we had somebody that we paid 100 to, but I'm not sure. Did we pay 150 or did we pay 100, Miss Watson? I'm sorry. I've got.
When we discussed it, you said it was 150.
Okay,
so
that's my memory is that I think we paid 150. But I can check with Mr. Tonelli to make sure of what we paid last time. I think the person that we paid never cashed their check. One of the people that we paid never cashed their check. So I'm sorry. So what I can just do if it's okay with the board is to do whatever we paid last time, and we'll keep it present, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Miss Watson, for you to move forward with that? Okay,
Absolutely. If the board's okay with that.
I'm okay with it. Are you, Elizabeth?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm Attorney Ferguson, I know that you were mentioning the oath that will add an additional page for that also on this page, correct? That will mean
You
we'll
can
add
just,
an,
you
an,
can
a
just
form.
attach it. You can just have it in the book.
Okay. Okay. Would you like me to scroll to page 4?
Yeah, we can keep going. I don't think we have much for a while yet.
Okay. This is 4, 5. We're
Page
on
10.
7.
Page
Do you
10.
want to, do you want me to go to page 10? Skip all
Yes.
these?
And I
Okay.
apologize. I don't know why I'm not sharing. Sorry, Michelle, to make you have to do this.
No problem. I think this is page 9. This is page 10, chapter 4.
It'll be in red line, so
This is not a red line version.
actually it's blue.
It's
It's
blue.
blue.
Okay, let
Keep
me see if
going.
my,
If you
let
just
me
go down,
see.
you'll see it. It's a little bit further down.
Okay, I'm gonna show, do you want me to show all markups? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there it
that what
is.
you're talking
There it
Okay,
is.
go back, yeah, go back a little bit. All right, one of the things we agreed last time was to put the limit that there can't be more than one challenger, watcher for any candidate or proposal in the room at any given time. So that's now been inserted. And then you wanted to set a deadline, and I wrote down September 9th the last time was the date to designate that person. And then we added in challengers and watchers have the right to be in the room when you're, counting the votes, canvassing the votes. Also, that wasn't listed before.
Hi, Sue Ellen. Is,
Mm.
is there a limit on those numbers of people? Because perhaps, initially it's only one, but a team may have 3, so all of their challengers and all of their watchers can be in there at the time, or it's only one at the time of the count of the vote as well.
No, the count is just in the list of things, what they have a
Okay.
right to do, but up above it says, or can be in the polling place at one time. Only one can be in the polling place at any one time, and you stay in the polling place to do your counts, don't you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they
Yes,
come
we
back.
do. Yes, we do.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, so that should,
Okay.
I think that should cover
that
it.
should cover it. Okay, thank you.
And this other one is just like, you
Watchers.
used,
That's it.
yeah, just use that all the way through, so we have it there.
Yeah.
And I
And those are
think
the only
that's,
changes. Yep.
yeah, I think that's it, yeah.
And are you guys okay with the judge's manual as it is with the changes?
Yeah, I am. Elizabeth?
I just have one question. So basically saying a watcher has to be affiliated with the candidate? Okay.
Yep, or a proposal. Otherwise, you could have,
Or a proposal.
yeah, sometimes a proposal
Okay.
might be on the ballot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna approve, you guys are gonna, yes. So we're okay with this. I'm gonna prove it. And I'm gonna try to put this on the council so the council can see the judge's manual and also see what we've done here on the board, as we did with the other,
We need
the
to
other
have a
part.
motion officially, or no, Sue Ellen?
Well, you should take your vote.
You should take a
Yep.
vote, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make the motion that we accept the elections judge manual, as it has been amended by the team here. All
I
in
second
favor?
that.
Seconded, right? Any questions? Discussion? It has been properly moved in second. All in favor? Signify by saying aye. Aye. The ayes
Aye.
have it, no objection. Thank you.
Okay. And so what we'll do is we'll put these in the minutes that the board formally accepted the judge's manual.
All
And
right,
so
let's see if-
we usually do a meeting summary just so that you guys do, and most of it is that the recording does serve as the official minutes, but we'll put together a meeting summary so that you have that.
Perfect. All right, let's see if I can get this done right now, Michelle. Sorry. So let me get up the candidate certificate. All right. Does everybody see this one this time?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
Not that bad with computers yet.
It
okay.
went away. It went
Went
away.
away.
You just pulled
Yeah,
it
it's
down.
on.
Yes, I'm playing. I'm just trying to see so you guys can see the whole form. Okay. Can you still see it, right?
Nope.
No.
Nope. Okay, let's see. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So this is currently the candidate certificate that we mentioned in the policy and procedure manual that we approved. So this will be going out to all the candidates who are running for election that they would have to turn in by August 22nd.
So for clarification, is the certificate basically is this after they turn in all their materials to become a candidate? I'm trying to make sure what the difference is the certificate is about.
So in the
Yes.
manual that we approved and we talked, it said candidate certificate is what the candidates have to do. So with this application, with
So it's an
we
application.
create, yeah, with this application, they have to turn in proof of, it says you have to prove how long you've been a resident, your voter's card. See, please attach residency. Candidates must provide residency within town corporate limits such as mortgage, lease, tax return, other government documents that go with this certificate. If we want to extend it or make it different, we can, but this is the one that, as of now, this is the one that we currently approved or we
No,
currently.
I just
yeah.
wanted to make sure I understood the idea of the word certificate is synonymous with, let's say, an application or the submission of materials by the candidate. That's why I just want to make sure that it's just trying to make sure for the record. That's all.
We can pull up the code or the charter and make sure. Let's see.
And then I also don't see, and maybe it's on here, but just about attaching the financial disclosure form.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Good catch. Right.
That's a good
add
one.
it.
But just like a cover sheet in a way.
Yeah, so we can add, so that's why we're gonna discuss it. This was
Okay.
kind of like the example that we created when we did the policy procedure. So it says candidate certificate in that manual that we approved and we sent to the council, but we haven't gone over the form yet.
Okay.
So I can put in financial if we want to add,
Mhm.
include financial disclosure forms. What else would we like to add?
I would say that
That
you
was
might want
the
more than,
certificate. Go ahead. Mhm.
I was gonna say you might want more than one phone number, just in case, just so that you have it.
And I guess
And
I don't know. It's just the way Bladensburg is already pre-populated. Like, I don't know. They have to prove they live in Bladensburg, so why not just leave it off and let them put in
that's what I
where
was gonna
they
say. Yeah. I would let them fill in I let them fill in
Mhm.
everything, because just in case,
Okay.
that might be a catch
Mhm.
if someone puts in the wrong zip code or the
Mhm.
address. Yeah, I think that's all should not be pre-populated. I agree.
So we
Or if
shouldn't,
they
we
live
don't
in
want to put the, are
Riverdale.
you a resident?
No,
Oh,
have
you
it
know, no, that
pre-populated,
yes. Go up the
but in
city.
the top, you have Bladensburg City,
Mhm.
Maryland
okay.
State, the zip. Those shouldn't be pre-populated.
Okay.
Yeah, like if
Okay.
you're getting your mail in Greenbelt, then I mean maybe you'll be able to see. I just think, yeah, like let them fill it in.
Okay, the reason we reference a certificate was to conform to section 307 of the charter. Any person having the qualifications provided for herein may become a candidate by filing with the town clerk or the supervisors at least 45 days prior to the election, a certificate that he or she is a candidate by giving their age, residence, and that he or she is a registered voter at the time of filing, together with any required ethics forms. So, let me get back to looking at the form. It does say, they're applying for either the mayor or a council member. So there's that, and then that they're registered voter. You can add other things on there. This is just the minimum. And let's see, and the proof of residency is something that we did talk about a lot because we were concerned about people actually being registered to vote in the town who don't live there, as I recall.
Yes. Then I have another comment. Are you feeling finished, Miss Sue Ellen?
Yes.
Were you finished? I had another comment. I don't know if we talked about this or not, or even if it's applicable, but are you at least 25? So are we asking for an ID or anything, proof of that? Because
I
we
was
look
gonna-
good.
Yes.
I was gonna ask that too, because the issue is that when she just read the code, it said proof of age, and by just clicking it, we're not guaranteeing proof of age. Do we ask for the date of birth? I was gonna say, should that be a question? I don't know.
We
That's
need
what
proof
I
that they
don't
are
know if it's too
25.
intrusive.
We need proof
But
that
on
they're
the application,
25
should
years
it include
old.
the person's date of birth?
Yeah.
Because then that'll verify if they're 25 or 30 or 50 or 60 or whatever your age is.
Or we could do
Sorry.
a list and say including like driver's proof of identification, and then have the list with identification, proof of residency, financial forms, and make a list right here that includes all of
Correct.
that.
Yep. Identification, proof of, yep.
It says,
Mhm.
in the charter section, it says age. I would just be careful about not giving out the form to anybody without redacting the birth
Age.
date. If you're gonna,
Right.
if
That's
you're
what I was
gonna,
gonna say.
if you're gonna require the birth date, I'd make sure you don't hand that out to anybody without redacting that.
That's what I was gonna say, is that should we ask for it on the form so that people, one, because it's a fact that is part of the, and then two, once we give it out, if anybody asks for it, we redact the age on it, but the original document has their date of birth and has they, what, if somebody lies about their date of birth, then their candidate, it's not, their application is, is fraudulent. So I think
Redacted.
you need to ask them all of those kinds of questions.
If we take that the ID, wouldn't we would see their date of birth?
But we're asking
Yeah,
them but we're also asking them to fill out the form. So I think the form should ask them the question so that they answer it. Yes, they're answering they're at least 25 or 30 years old, but they should probably the question asked, answered on the form, if that's one of the things that's listed on the code. I don't know, Sue Ellen, I don't know. What would you say? Because what if somebody doesn't have an ID? Because would that invalidate them for being a candidate if they don't have a form of a photo ID?
If they don't have proof of age.
Well, they could have
Wow.
they could have a birth certificate.
You
True.
can have that.
Yeah, we need proof of age. That's a lot.
What I'm saying is that,
No, we
But
haven't done that.
But if we make
Let
a
me see,
list that says identification on there that we need it, Michelle's right, because identification can be a ID or it could be a passport. It could be some other, anything else. So it may
A
not say,
non-driver's
a passport
license.
does have your passport does have your birthday on it.
Yeah, it
But-
does.
But I know
I
when
mean,
I ran, oh, I'm sorry, when I was doing this, I remember years ago, whoever I turned it into, I had, show my ID or what have you, and they verified my age.
I was going to
But
say
like
that,
you said, we still need to know what form of documents will be acceptable.
Yeah, we definitely need to ask for ID because we need to prove that they're even that person that they're
That
applying
who
for. It's
they
not
are,
somebody else
right.
coming in applying for them.
Correct.
What we have on page of the other manual on page 4 of the election it was one of the drafts. We have proof of citizenship. We have that they have to be a citizen of the United States.
Yeah.
So I guess then some of these forms would prove that.
Well, to be registered to vote, you have to be a citizen.
And then we ask that question anyway. Okay, so we ask, are you a registered voter? So there you go.
Yeah,
But we still would need,
if they're registered
I
voter,
would think,
that's supposed to
proof
have
of
been
ID.
predetermined that they're
You're right.
a citizen. Some towns do allow non-citizens to vote, but they have to keep a supplemental voter list because the county will not allow registration by non-citizens.
I think the most important one, I agree with Ms. Watson, just around making sure you're who you say you are, because that could be, someone using someone else's ID. We wouldn't want that. So there should be some level of proving you're who you say you are.
So we're
Ms.
gonna add
Lundy?
a list. I'm sorry, Ms. Lundy. I was gonna just summarize what we were just talking about.
No, you were. I
Okay,
know.
yeah.
I just noticed Miss Lundy's hand was still up. That's all.
No, I'm sorry, I need to take that hand down.
I just want to make sure. I was like, I saw your hand up. That's the reason why
Thank you for your consideration, though. I'll take it. Is it down now?
Yes.
Oh, fabulous.
So we're gonna add on in on their please attach proof of residency, identification, must fill out financial disclosure form.
Right.
Is there anything else we want to add to it? Do we need to ask for proof of, are they a registered voter? I mean, I know we're gonna get it from the elections, but should we ask that or no?
Well, it says they're a registered voter, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, should we ask for proof and as part of the list or no?
I don't have proof that
No.
I'm a registered voter, except I'm on the list.
Yeah, and I can't find my card, but when they come in to vote, they're in the system, and we have our cards
We
and
should
everything.
check that.
Oh yeah, right. The town can should check it and verify with the board that they are a registered voter. Once you get that list from the
county.
Board of Elections. Mhm.
Yeah, I met with
Yeah, that's
with the county this week, and they kind of learned a little bit about how elections work, and they told us they would give us a list or a roll of all the voters in the town, so that we get that as part of the election. So we did the survey and included that and added our election for this year into that. So
I think it's fine. I think the only thing that I see is that the way that
received
it's
as
sort of the way it's
formatted,
formatted,
right?
Yeah, the issue of the received by, so that I think that what I also would like to see if you did that is for us to just also to have a stamp place that we can actually stamp it with date and time, if we have it, we're stamping. But yeah, that received by, and then maybe the other part is that you might want to put on the bottom, action date by that this was brought to the board, and then the approval of the candidate certificate by the board date, like to actually have like a box that shows the process that you can then write on each one of the things. So as receive date, the day that we're verified voter. Like I would say I'd have a little thing for yourself so that you can kind of keep it on there, and then that way when you bring it to the board, you know what date it went to the board for approval. I don't know. I'm just thinking about like a little thing for official use only area.
Yep, that's a
A
good
tracking
idea.
area for the bottom.
On the bottom of tracking, I like
Yeah.
that.
And I
That
like
way
the
that-
fact too. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, just so that it's transparent for the board when they see it, that you guys see that it came in. It's been like if you want to put verified, registered voter verified, yes, date, time, like then that way you have that in that way
Yeah.
then when it's all one form.
Yep. And I like the fact too that we're going to be checking, are you a resident of Bladensburg? Because our charter requires a certain amount of years now. So I like that we have that too as a check and balance when we ask them how long, and we can check that to verify.
Yes. So
So
we'll-
I think
We'll add all those changes and then bring this back to you guys for approval, and if we have any other corrections or,
Mhm.
Okay. Stop sharing the screen. At least I can stop. Other than that, I think, Michelle, you brought up a good point about the verification. I know that one thing we discussed was that coming to the board. How often do you want to meet to go over the candidate certificates when they do come in? Should we schedule during that time? I know it's still a little early, but I want to kind of create this timeline and, keep adding on it. So let's say somebody comes in on a Monday during August 25th, and they brought, I'll definitely email it to you guys and for approval. But when do you want to schedule meetings weekly? Can we put that on a calendar, or what do you guys think? I know it's a little early, so we can kind of decide later if this is too early, but how are you thinking of doing it? Do you guys want to meet weekly, every other week? The quicker we get them approved, the quicker we can get them started in campaigning. So I think if we could do it a weekly during that time, I would appreciate it. But it's up to the board.
Is there some kind of like document that you could put together where we can initial off something like that when we get it?
Yes.
And you give us a date that you need it. You know what I'm saying? So we can stay in line with our checklist.
Yep. I'll add it to
that's
like
fine.
Michelle was saying, I'll add it to the candidate certificate where I say the day we received it, the day it was sent to the board, and by when, we hopefully have it a turnaround maybe in a week if we can do it that way, or how many days, because we want to make sure they turn around quick so they can start campaigning and they can start putting their information out. So we can talk about this later. I know it's kind of early to push you guys into a weekly every day in August,
No,
but
my suggestion was just have a sign-off form for us, the board.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I was alluding to.
Okay.
yeah,
We also have to sign and send everything to the ethics committee, our new ethics
Correct. So
board, so
sign
they
off
have to
form for
look
them
at it.
too.
So,
So
yeah.
all that can be a part of one transmittal sheet,
Okay.
whatever you call it.
Yeah, I think that Sue Ellen, my question is that some of the election timelines, is there anything that prohibits us from putting out the candidate materials early since we have them done? Because they have to be out by a certain date, but let's say we got them done in the beginning of July. Is that prohibited? Or is there a time period?
No.
Is that in the code?
No, and I know some people try to rely on the county's sign law to say that, you can't put candidate signs out before a certain date or anything. That law was found constitutional, gosh, I think it's like 20 years ago now. And it is unconstitutional, their sign law. It's based on content. You can't do that.
Okay.
So that's why people can put their signs out whenever the heck they want to in their own yard and anybody else's yard where there's consent. You can't put them in the right of way because you can control that. But it's very hard to control that if you're saying you can't do it for candidate signs. You can't put a sign out there, but for real estate signs, you can. Okay, that's that. So you have to do it like Montgomery County has one that I think pretty much would pass muster, and what they call them limited duration signs. So, you can limit them. It has to apply to all the signs. You can't pick and choose who gets to say something out there and who doesn't.
My question, the sign one is a good, that you answered another question too, but my other question was about the application process itself. The law says we must have the or let's say the certificate or the time when a candidate can apply by a certain, that has to be open by a certain date.
Yeah.
But could we open up the process let's say now that we've got a lot of stuff ready, let's say we open it July 1st, even though it's July 15th. Could we do that? Because we can put the information on our website and then people could start filling it out to try to, is there any
Sure.
prohibition? Like we couldn't start it
I
in
don't,
like say May, but could we start it, starting the first week in July? Is there a problem with that?
there's not a problem legally unless there's something in your charter about it.
There isn't.
I don't see anything. So, sure. Gives
So
you
I
more
guess
time.
so then from the board standpoint, would you all mind if we started to, let's say, like with this, if Ms. Watson brought back, let's say a timeline that says we will start, we'll make the application live, let's say July 4th or July 5th after the holiday, right? After the holiday versus being in versus the 15th. That way your first meeting might be, July 15th, because that gives us time to act and get, if you have people that'll turn them in, because I'm sure there's going to be people that are ready, going to turn them in the first week. That way those candidates have all their stuff in. If they're approved, we can have that within 10 days. That's a reasonable time period. But if we started to plot that out, would that be helpful?
So your reason for wanting to do that is just to ensure that we meet our timelines. And we're not violating anything because the violation would be after if it's after the timeline.
Exactly.
So,
it's more of the
Mhm.
early
Right.
on
That's
timeline
fine.
issues.
it's like being proactive. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what because we caught issues at the end because we did
Right.
because Rich held them the
Down to the
whole time.
wire.
Exactly. So if we get them to you early, then you can look at them, act on them, keep on moving.
Mhm.
And the ones that are problematic, we can say, hey, we've got this one, and we can announce it at the meeting. You're looking at it, and you can have that opportunity to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. As long as all that's
Yes.
communicated to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see no
I just
problem
have-
with it.
I just have one question, Swan, and I'm sorry. In the timeline that we created in the policy and procedure manual, there was a timeline, and we have it currently that was approved for 12 weeks before election. Can we change that to be 15 to July 1st? Right now, that current timeline that's in the book that we approved says July 21st, 2025.
I'll make an amendment.
I would say that that's the issue is that is based on the day that we must release by. My question is,
No.
is that no, but the date of the 21st is based on the 45 days out. Like that's the last date you can do it. That's
The last
okay.
thing you can do is August 22nd.
No,
This is
you're not
just a
listening to
date that
us.
we created.
Okay, forget it. I'm not going to say anything. But we have to have a certain amount of period of time open. That's what I think the 21st came from.
Yeah, that's why we currently have it as 12 weeks before the election. So I don't, it doesn't matter. It's not in our charter. So we can change it if we want to do July 1st. We just have to change it in this timeline.
No,
that
but
was in the
I was
book.
saying is that I think there's a day that we have to open the applications by.
Yeah,
Isn't that what
the 45 days before election by the charter is August 22nd, 2025.
but that's the day that you have to accept them by.
That's the only thing the charter says. It doesn't have a date when you have to start election candidates. It only has the day that everything has to be submitted, which is the 45 days, which is August 22nd. So we change it to, it's fine. We could just have to change this timeline in the book to July 1st. And change the 12-week period that we currently approved.
So
We're just expanding the time period.
My question is that do we have to, so since there is no date that you have to start by, why do the council didn't approve of, they reviewed your stuff, they didn't take an official vote on it. So you guys will just have to change your procedures to say it's okay to open to July. That's it.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's
not
hard and fast in stone. But yes, you could amend that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I was saying. So I just want the board to know so we can change it to July 1st, and I can change it. That's all I was just saying. Because right now the board approved it for the 21st.
And you
No,
were
we said
asking Sue
July
Ellen if that's
5th, not, we'll do July
Yeah, I'm
5th.
July
asking
5th.
for you to
July
have more
1st.
time to start it. Yes.
And I'm okay with that. More time is better for me.
Right.
But I
And
just
you
don't
were
want the
asking Sue
book.
Ellen, right, you were asking Sue Ellen if that's okay, and I think it is, correct? Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because it is an internal process. Yeah, yeah. So I make a motion that we amend our current procedures to expand the timeline, and please put the right language in there because I can't remember what language it is. From the 22nd to July 1st to start the process. Oh, how would you do it, Michelle?
I was gonna say to
Let's do
whatever.
July 7th, which is a Monday.
Well, I was
July
gonna
5th
say,
is a
don't put
Saturday.
date. How about, let's not put a date. Let's say
Oh, okay.
that gives the board the time to, the board can decide, the board could decide a date, because you might decide at the end of the end of June that you're done and you're ready to put them out. You could decide before
Okay.
the fiscal. Does that have to be in there, Sue Ellen, because it's not specified by the law?
No, you can decide, you should decide when you're going to start making information available. So when people ask, you know what the answer is. Okay. But you don't have to set a time. You should decide on it internally. So everybody's
Okay.
ready. Everybody's ready for the program to start, and you can tell people then.
So
I was
would
gonna
that
say,
be
for me personally, I would prefer if we had a specific 15 weeks, 20 weeks, so that I like the timeline, or doesn't have to be this day. I don't care if we do it end of June, whenever everybody feels comfortable, but I'd rather
Yeah.
have something so that I know, and if somebody asks me, this is what we're doing, this is the timeline, and it's clear to everybody.
And
I
I
was gonna
And
rescind
it's
my
say-
better for
motion.
me.
I
Yeah.
rescind my motion for the record until we get clear about what we want to do. Okay.
I was just gonna
Um,
say, is that, should it be at least a certain number of days? Like, 'cause if you did at least 60 days before the election, then that way you have time to do that, or at least 45. I mean, currently it's at least 45 days, correct?
Yeah. So the July 21st date is 12 weeks before the election. So that's 3 months before election. If we do the after July 5th, it will be 14 weeks before the election.
Okay.
So in other words, 3.5 months before the election.
I think about it. I don't care. This is not mine. This is not my gig. I'm gonna opt out. I think if you want to put the 7th is fine. I just don't want to make it any more prescriptive for if someone else does it later on, because once you change it, you're sort of then setting a new timeline. But I just want the ability to start early. So just for you to start whenever you needed to. That's why I'm like, could the language be less specific to say that as long as it occurs 45 the day, the whatever the period of time before the election date, that it could be released by at least 60 days before that date, which would give you 2 months. So that could be any day, any day within that, that period of time. I don't know. I'm just asking that because when you put a certain date on it, it won't make it evergreen for the next set of people, because you'll have to change the date every time you do it for each election thing. But I guess this is the guide for this year anyway, so choose the 7th. Do you know what I'm saying? You're going to change it anyways every 2 years, right?
yeah, because the 7th may not even fall on a weekday
Right.
Yeah.
every time. So I like the
Yes,
idea
it's
about
for this
putting it
year.
in weeks or whatever. Go ahead, Mr. Wellen. What were you saying? You're the
I
legal.
wasn't saying anything.
So,
So the
Mr.
7th,
Watson,
whatever
Or
to
you
the
could
you
just
board.
whatever
keep
you
it
do, Raven,
looser
this is your
and say
process.
at
You give us
least.
the date. You give a date. You set
Yeah.
your own. You need to set your own goals. So set your goals. If the 7th works for you, we'll do the 7th. I don't care.
No, I don't think we
It's
should
up to
do
you
a
guys.
particular date because like I was suggesting, that date may change over the course of time as we are moving forward.
Mhm.
So I like the idea about doing it in the weeks. I think you and Miss Watson were talking about that. So what was the suggestion for the
15
week?
weeks then. 15 weeks
Yeah,
before the
That's
I like
election.
fine.
that better. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I agree with that too. Make that be the date, the time period.
Okay. So I'll change that in the timeline, 15 weeks before the election. That's all I had today. Does anybody want to add anything for the agenda for next time? I'm gonna bring back the judge's manual, and some other information to you guys. We have a training
Yeah.
that we're doing we have a whole new ethics commission. I don't know if you guys are aware, we do have a whole new ethics commission. They're appointed by the council at the last meeting. So Ellen is going to do a training with them to get them up, and running, and let them know what the responsibilities are and make sure they're ready to go. And it'll be my first one as well. So it'll be perfect for both of us to get trained all of us to get trained at the same time.
Can we send in on it, Sue Ellen, if we would like? Can we be
That's
invited
up
to
to,
it?
that's up to the town, sure. I mean,
Oh,
there's no problem with it.
Michelle, is it okay? Because you're gonna be talking about Board of Election stuff too? Or
No,
just ethics in
specifically.
general? Just ethics in
Well,
general?
they will
the
get,
ethics.
there will be something because they should be
Yeah.
checking to make sure the financial disclosure
Right.
forms are, because the supervisor is just gonna hand them over,
Correct.
Mhm.
you know.
So can we attend that, Michelle? Can you give us the date and where the location and everything and the
So,
time?
we're doing
I will add you
hybrid,
to
so
it.
that it's gonna be hybrid so it can be both online and in person. So we'll have
Oh, yeah, I
an
can do it
element in
online.
person.
I can do it online. Please send me that. I don't know if Elizabeth and the other members would like to attend. I would. I've never been to one of those trainings and I would like to be updated as well. Or abreast
Yeah,
of it
you
too.
can send it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll definitely
because
add you guys
that's
to I think it's April 16th is what we currently have at 4 p.m.
because since it's a training, is it it's a public meeting, isn't it?
No,
That's what I was gonna
Um,
ask you, because I don't know if it's a public meeting. I just thought about that.
no, well, I'm going to be giving legal advice the whole time.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, because it's a posted meeting, but it's not necessarily a public meeting. So that's what I was wondering that's why I wondered if the issue is, can we have non-ethics members there because of the fact that it's sort of a closed session for that group?
you could,
Oh.
the supervisors are as much of the family of the town as the
Mhm.
ethics commission is,
Okay.
you know? They all have
Right.
a duty to the town to act in its interest, so I think that'd
Right.
be okay. A member of the public couldn't come, no.
Okay.
Correct.
But that's what I'm saying. I can't put it out on the website of it, but I had a closed one. I mean, if we had the meeting, I wouldn't post the hearing. Does that mean we wouldn't post the training? That's why I want to ask that question and all that kind of stuff, because it wouldn't be recorded. Like, it would be recorded, but it wouldn't be recorded for that. Does that make sense? Or would it
I'm
not even be recorded?
Well, you can record it, but it would be a confidential recording then.
Yeah, it would be
I'm
go
gonna
like a
give
closed
it,
session recording.
yeah, I'm gonna give them, legal advice throughout. That's what we'll be talking about, the law.
Right. Okay.
But we won't be
No, I just
making any policy. We won't be making any policy. It might even qualify as an admin meeting. An administrative meeting. I can look at that and see.
That's what I wanted to know, like where it fell in the categories of meetings, because that's what I want. Because before I say, hey, people can come, I just want to make sure what kind of meeting and what the body is, so that I can
Yeah.
make that because I'm not sure, because of the nature of their work, if that is a meeting that I can say, oh yeah, well, this members of this group can come, but not, because you also are citizens too. And are you, that's why I want to ask that question. So that's what my question is, to make sure I'm okay on that.
Yeah, and your ethics commission and your board of supervisors could all come to a meeting like that because they're interested in at least parts of that.
Together.
Yeah, but
And I
what
think
I'm
we could
looking
have
at
an ethics
mainly,
training where we had a joint ethics training between all of them, which is the same, could have the same topics, and that can be the meeting. But I just want to post it right, if that makes sense.
yeah. What I'm going to look at is, I don't know if you have to make it a closed meeting or if we can just do it as an admin, because you're not going to be making policy.
Nope. But they'll
These
be
guys don't
receiving
make
legal
policy.
advice.
What we'd be doing is giving, in essence, a training. But because I'm doing it and we're going to be talking about my advice to folks, we wouldn't want that in the public anyway. But let me see if we can be an admin meeting and then you don't even have to advertise it.
That's what I want to know, because I want to know, because this group is coming together, do I need to advertise it, and how do I need to
Right.
advertise it? And then
Right.
if it's a joint, if it might make sense, if it's a joint meeting where where both groups are receiving legal advice, then I just post it saying they're both receiving legal advice. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I could post it jointly.
Right.
Because I think that's cleanest for me, if it was a joint meeting where you're going through ethics law with both groups, and we're posting it legal advice, but it's a closed meeting, if that's the issue.
Okay, well, I will confirm one way or the other on the admin part.
And then I have a question. So, Michelle, I want to ask a question. So it's posted, rather than an invitation sent to us. What's the difference?
An invitation is sent for a posted meeting. It's just, posted means whether or not how we treat it from the standpoint of the public records information, and how the clerk would maintain those records. So that's why I'm saying, if it's an admin meeting, it's not kept in the same way as a meeting of official board or commission. So that's why I'm asking those questions, so that we can, so the invitation it doesn't matter, but I want to make sure what meeting it would be. Does that make sense?
Yes, okay, I got it. Thank you.
Does anybody have anything else for the order of the meeting?
Nope, thank you. This is good.
Thank
So
you.
what's the next,
Thank you.
what's the next dates that
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
your next
Next
meeting
meeting.
date?
If you guys don't mind, if after we discuss swelling the training and everything, can we decide at that time? If we can decide the
Okay.
meeting, unless you guys want to meet again in another couple of weeks. But I wanted to kind of put some things
because-
together and talk to Michelle before we.
You can send it to us like you always do in an email, asking us to,
Okay.
what's good.
But definitely I would say by the end of April, we should have a meeting. If that's okay, just put it on the radar, end of April, for us to meet
Yep.
again.
Well, I mean,
Sounds
we're
good.
out of town the last week of April. That's why I was trying to see dates.
Oh.
I'm filling up, my calendar's filling up for April. That's the reason why. So I'm just trying to find dates. But yes, if you can get that set sooner than later, that's
Gotcha.
good, because April is filling up. That's the reason why I'm asking. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
Stop the recording.
Good to see everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
See everybody.
Bye.
Take care.